Hello, friends. My name is Dusty, and this is the ScorpioPriestessAttracts. Today, we will be discussing spiritual awakening in 5 ways you know you're going through one. Now, there are many ways to know you are going through a spiritual awakening, but today we're going to discuss 5 of the biggest ways that you know. For a lot of you, you are probably asking yourself, what does going through a spiritual awakening even mean? Well, it's considered enlightenment, coming to the light. Going through a spiritual awakening essentially means that you are waking up to the world around you, to you being a human, having a spiritual experience. For some, you may have just recently experienced tragedy, trauma, a breakup, death. A lot of the times, things like this is what sparks our awakening. A big transition in your life, anything of the sort. It can't even be a loss of a job or just a lot of change. I know for me, when I went through my first spiritual awakening, I had lost somebody very close to me, and 6 months later, my business burnt to the ground. And looking back, I understand why some of the things transpired the way they did. Because going through a spiritual awakening means that you're understanding that things are happening for you, not to you. It is a very good way to change your perspective on what is going on with you right now if you're having a hard time. So let's begin. Number 1. The number 1 way you know you're going through a spiritual awakening is signs, synchronicities, angel numbers, coincidences. Perhaps you've just thought of somebody and then they message you. You're starting to see that if you ask for a message, and I recommend doing this, ask the divine, ask the universe, whatever you may believe, to send you a message, and take notice to when you see it. For a lot, you may be actually just seeing angel numbers all the time. 111, 222. You go to the store, your bill's 2222, and you just seen 222 on the clock. Things like this. For some of you, what also may be happening, or at some point begin to happen, is when you're dreaming, you may start hearing knocking or bells. This is your guides trying to deliver a message to you, trying to get your attention about one thing or another in your life. Number 2, the second way of knowing you're going through a spiritual awakening is empathy. You are suddenly wanting to cry over a commercial. You are feeling so much empathy for the homeless man down the street, or you really feel others' pain. You start to understand that we are all here just learning and growing, and we all have our own challenges, our own unique path, and you're being very empathetic to the people around you. It can really soften your heart. When I was in the middle of my last awakening, because I feel we are always raising and elevating, I would cry over commercials all the time. I would see a commercial about pets and tears would just flow. I used to love true crime, and I can't even watch it anymore because I have so much empathy for the people who perhaps lost a loved one in a murder. Number 3. You've met somebody and it feels really different. A lot of the times you can meet your twin. If you're not familiar with the twin flame journey, you can meet your other half. You incarnated here on planet Earth as one soul and split off into 2. You mirror one another. It is soul recognition. Sometimes meeting a person can also put you into a spiritual awakening. Perhaps you have met somebody and it feels so special and so unique and so intense. You feel like you can read this person's mind, or that you've known them forever. It is soul recognition. For some of you, you may start actually having past life dreams. You may start having a lot of synchronicities happen to you. It's just a overall knowing Now, when you begin to think everybody is a twin or everyone is a soulmate, you may want to take a step back and really sit with yourself, because there can be false twins, and you can start, hoping and wishing. But to be honest with you, if you're in the middle of the twin flame journey, it is very difficult. It is very challenging. There are a lot of highs and lows, and so sometimes people choose to get off the journey because it is just way too hard. It's way too difficult. With that being said, most of the time after meeting a twin, you have just experienced some tragedy or trauma, and you will find that your twin has experienced a lot of the same things, and you all mirrored one another throughout your life. There can be age differences, differences in race. There's a lot of the times big differences between you all, because you're mirroring things to one another that you haven't been seeing in yourself. And that's very important if you're on the twin flame journey, to try to ask yourself, what are the lessons I'm learning? What have I learned from this person? Now, number 4, you feel detached. You feel empty. You feel alone. Going through a spiritual awakening can be one of the most lonely, confusing times of your life, where you feel like maybe you're going crazy. You think about a person all the time. You're constantly seeing numbers or feeling overwhelming feelings, or your abilities are heightened, and you're asking yourself, am I going crazy? Now, if you struggle with mental health issues in the middle of a spiritual awakening, one or two things can happen. You can feel more depressed and more detached, and want to isolate yourself because the people around you, you just no longer seem to resonate with. The divine will often take people from you in the middle of a spiritual awakening because you need to focus your energy on yourself. Number 5, your psychic abilities. You're starting to sense things, feel things. You're talking to somebody and you know what they're thinking almost. Or if someone lies to you, you're like, try again. Nice try. You can sense it. You could be getting downloads from your guides. You could be predicting things that are happening. You have an overwhelming feeling like something bad's going to happen, and then it does. This is your third eye and crown chakra opening. I would recommend doing a third eye or a crown chakra meditation. At the very least, sitting quietly for 10 minutes a day, doing a breathing exercise where you breathe in through your nose very deeply to the count of 4, hold 4, out very deeply to the count of 4. Make sure you're taking very deep breaths. As human beings, we do not receive enough air. We're breathing. Our breathing is too shallow, which can cause anxiety all in itself. So if you're in the middle of a spiritual awakening, it is important to give yourself love and care. Take a lot of salt baths, do something kind for yourself, get a massage, really start pampering yourself. Be gentle and kind, because it is a very difficult road, but it is so worth it at the end of the day. If you like to get out in nature, being out in nature, grounding yourself is very important as well. There is so much grounding abilities that the earth gives us that we have been done a disservice to not experiencing more. Walking in your bare feet in the grass, laying, do snow angels, do whatever you need to do to smell that beautiful fresh air. If the only place you have to go is a park, get out to the park a few times a week. Grounding yourself and keeping yourself calm is really important in the middle of a spiritual awakening. If you feel alone, there are many resources online that you can reach out to. Many different, I suggest learning, studying, researching. It really will help you understand this journey much, much better. I hope everybody has a beautiful and blessed day, and congratulations for going through a spiritual awakening, because baby, you are gonna be coming to the light, and it's so beautiful. I mean, the world looks brighter. Everything feels better, different. Joy, overwhelming sense of joy. So once you get out the other end of this, things are going to turn out so great. Love and light.